I have a personal philosophy that the best path that a non-technology founder can follow when starting their business is to get to a point where you see traction as quickly as possible. And what's traction? Well, I have a simple rule for this. It's the point when you can start raising invoices, because once you're at a point where invoices are going out and getting paid, no one can argue that you haven't found product market fit. If no one can argue that you found product market fit, things are actually moving and you have a real business. And you can jump off from there either to get investment or you can start scaling through cash flow. In my experience, the best pairing for founders to build a technology business is when you have someone who knows how to do and someone who knows how to sell. So when I say do, I mean they understand the domain you're operating in. This isn't about technology. It's about understanding the commercial imperatives in whatever market that new business will be operating in. And when I say sell, I mean someone who really understands business development, relationship building and partnerships. Understanding sales craft, i.e. how to find and close deals, is a bit more important than marketing at this stage. You don't need both people, but that kind of yin-yang setup works really well. And when I see a team like that, it makes me happy. What you don't need, but what you did used to need in the past, is anyone technical embedded within the business, like a technical co-founder, but that does leave a gap. So to get traction, you need to have a usable product, and B, enough people who know, like, and trust you to use that product. You need a discipline around delivering your digital software product, e.g. your version 1 MVP, and a discipline around formulating and running a marketing strategy. Now, most of you will know that I work as a fractional CTO, but the whole idea of fractionals is a bit strange, so bear with me. If you think about a 10,000 person business, they will have a board where every C whatever O is represented. CEO, COO, CFO, CTO, CIO, CHRO, all of them into infinity. But every tiny business starts out with none of them. As the business grows, CXOs get hired. And a business will hire a full-time CXO because they want to move to a place where they are continually improving their capability in that area. A business does not hire a CFO because they need a flashy accountant or want to stay where they are in terms of their financial governance capability. They hire a CFO so that they can get continually better at financial governance. So fractionals work on a freelance basis, which means they sit outside the organization and you normally hire them part-time. The value of having them part-time is not just to reduce the spend. It's more that in a small business, you simply don't have that much work to do for that sort of strategic work to require someone who's working on paper 40 hours a week. But we all know that people who kind of work at that level will tend to put in more like 60. Even if you had the money for a CTO or a CMO or both, they're going to end up being either A, bored out of their minds, or B, thoroughly enjoying the holiday camp you've set up for them. Or to put it another way, you probably have no need to make continuous improvements in those areas on an ongoing basis, but you will discover situations where you need to make tactical improvements, and that's where fractional CTOs work. So as I said earlier, in your startup, you need to A, deliver a digital product, which means outsourcing your version 1 MVP to a software agency, and B, get people to know, like, and trust you so that you can start delivering that product, i.e. selling it. And that means formulating and implementing a marketing strategy. So to bring this illustration home, imagine a situation where you hire someone and it doesn't work out. Now, this may have happened to you. It certainly happened to me. You bring them into the business, give them 6 months to do whatever it was they were going to do, so they have a fair crack of the whip. But after those 6 months, you end up thinking, oh, that was not the right person to hire, and you have to part ways. The outcome there is really clear. You've wasted 6 months, spent money on recruitment fees, spent money on salary, and at best you've moved nowhere, at best. But at worst, something's been damaged and now needs fixing. And as I said before, this has happened to me a few times before, and it's really frustrating and incredibly disheartening. I don't like the terms consultant, mentor, or coach, but uncomfortably, this is what a fractional anything does. As a fractional CTO, if I'm helping an organization to outsource their version 1 MVP to a software agency, I have to do a bit of consultancy. I look at where the founders are and what the product needs to do, and then select and oversee the engagement with the agency. But there's this fractional bit about continuous improvement where I have to mentor and coach the founders to get better at commissioning and driving delivery through the software agency. So there's two parts there. There's one, there's the actual doing, but the other part is making sure the business is changing beneficially through that engagement. But the point of doing any of this is to avoid wasting 6 months of time, 6 months of money, and 6 months of opportunity. It's not necessarily that you can't work this out yourself as the founder or founders. It's that the money it costs and the time and the risk and heartache is always offset by getting that support to make that technical improvement early on. And that's the ROI. That's the mechanism by which you get to traction faster. Yes, you're going to have to find some money to pay for the engagement, but any fractional will leave you in a better place than had you not met them and brought them in to solve a problem for you, unless you're really unlucky. Well, and let's assume you're not going to be unlucky. A fractional CTO will help you get a better version 1 of your MVP in less time and less cost than if you've gone it alone, or a fractional CTO early doors will help you get that investment or get to traction faster. That's the ROI that fractional CTOs exist to deliver to your startup business. That's all for today. Thank you so much for tuning into my content. But before you go, if I can get 30 seconds of your time, I have a thing called the VIF, or Very Important Founder Program, and it's a way that I can work more closely with non-technology founders who are building technology businesses. It's a community that's free to join, and you get access to free resources, including my live weekly MVP clinics, where you can bring your questions or issues around developing your MVP and get real answers really quickly. If you'd like to join, pop along to www.fractionalmatt.com/offer. But either way, thanks for watching today, and I'll see you next time.